Objection! This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor.
Order! Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him, suspicious.
Wow, that's profiling.
What?
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard the gunshot before midnight?
Larry's right. He's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight.
Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
Take that! Look at this photograph!
God
This
damn
was
it.
taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lana Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. That's post-meridian, folks.
Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture.
Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph, it's why this photograph exists at all!
What do you mean?
Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Correct! There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m., and that is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve.
Indeed, it would seem that this is the case. Then where does that leave us? Ms. Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken?
Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them.
Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes?
God, I hate that fucker.
There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera.
Hey, my nose was clear that night, man, clear!
Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any.
I guess this is really it.
Do you have evidence that there were 3 gunshots?
Yeah. The gun. Oh. Take that! This is my evidence!
The murder weapon?
Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. The truth is, Gordy's dead and we killed him!
What?
That third shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight.
Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly! If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why?
Uh-oh, better think of something quick.
Oh, you motherfucker. Pausing to take a drink. Christ. Jesus. Drinking a lot
do
there.
my taxes. Wait a second! Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? Ah! I have it! I have it!
Settle the fuck down, huh?
Remember the case with the Steel Samurai?
Oh, yeah, of course, I remember.
The
You had
murderer in this case had the same
Okay.
idea as the murderer in that case.
Jesus Christ, please stop screaming. What do you mean?
Am I being too loud for real?
No, it's a bit.
Okay. Maya!
Yes?
I can't hear myself very well. If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict!
You're shaking the entire couch. Holy
I've got a
shit.
hunch and I'm gonna run with it.
Right, I mean, is this safe?
It is safe, and my name is Wright, thank you. Safe? Safe? Fuck safe! We've already gotten a guilty verdict! We ain't got shit to lose! You just watch, and let me know if I say anything that sounds like fish, okay?
Right, Nick.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Wright, are you done having your freak out?
the testimony just now has cleared up this entire case, and I can't guarantee that I'm done having the freak out. Depends.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
Oh, I should have gone for the high pitch, like. That would have been funnier.
So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself.
That's really assumptive of you, you dick. Wrong, Vard Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Jeez.
Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility.
Yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
Huh? What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence at the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says midnight 15.
But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent.
Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat were.
Edgeworth and the murder.
Christ. Don't smoke.
Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed that the guise of Mr. Hammond and went and met Edgeworth. That works.
Well, what? Are you serious?
Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous!
Is that what Ludicolo evolves into?
No, Ludicolo is fully evolved.
Mr. Wright!
Okay, whatever. Is that what Lucario evolves into? Sure, whatever, that's the bit I went with. Hey.
Tell us the name of the murderer then!
The murderer's name? Right, it's
Miles
Yami-Yugi! Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know? Can you waste my time?
I don't know because he never told us.
Huh?
The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, the old man. It's like saying the butler did it. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Well, where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot somebody? May I suggest, I apologize, that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat?
What? Absurd! You can't kill someone on dry land! That's illegal! It has to be done in international waters, Mr. Wright!
Are you saying the Gordy Lake is a fucking international zone? No.
Well,
No, that is state-owned at least.
Well then, where did the murder take place?
If it was in international waters, then why are we even having Miles on trial? Whatever. It happened in the boathouse. Here, of course, the boat shop where the guy lives. That way you can meet the victim without anybody seeing.
Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. I'm over here just beep, 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 beep. I'm using my finger to move this little boat around in front of the whole court. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. His girlfriend. He finds it and returns the boat. He finds that his girlfriend doesn't actually love him and is using him for his sexuality.
Nick, are you saying that Larry's dating Gordy?
Gordy is Beyonce.
I should have known!
But Gordy is dead!
No!
No! So, then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. Booming loud radio DJ voice! In other words, the gunshot had to be very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat?
The boat shop!
Congratulations, I was getting there. Thanks for stealing my thunder,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Wright! What happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, are you sure about this?
Nope. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. Oh, Jesus. Pow. Bang. Pew. This was around 11:50, and that was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat, and he became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth, and he went out into the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
Oh god, I was gonna lose my shit if you accidentally hit Edgeworth.
Yeah. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details?
Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice.
To create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course, and that's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop, and then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body. He threw the body into the lake. And this is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Aren't I fucking awesome? I'm the best.
Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly.
He done RUNNOFT'd. He done run off.
Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand.
Hey, Miles.
Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir! Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared! He isn't at the boat shop either! What? What should I do? Find him quickly! We cannot allow him to get away!
Good job, Von Karma, you suck dick! Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Von Karma. For free, and they're bleedy.
Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared! A search warrant has already been issued!
Well, that was quick.
It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood?
Good job, Karma, you suck!
One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial.
Yep.
I want him and I want to know who he is.
Yep.
Very well, court is adjourned.
Von Karma is gonna die.
What the fuck?
One day. One day he'll shuffle from this mortal coil, and on that day his torture will begin. December 27th, 1:22 p.m. Decidedly longer than 3 or 15 minutes from the beginning of the trial.
Yep.
We're in the district court, defendant lobby number 2, with Miles Edgeworth and Larry Butts and Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey.
Just press the button. Yay, Nick, you did it!
I'm the best! Well, at least we got out from underneath that guilty verdict.
And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out.
Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony, still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients.
Hey, Edgy.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Did you say something?
Don't look so pained! I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You can try to smile just a little. Relax.
I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet.
What do you mean?
Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you.
Edgeworth?
No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind.
What's this all about, Edgeworth?
It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed.
A crime you committed?
A memory of a murder.
The crime he committed was being not big enough to stop the murder.
No.
Oh. Yami-Yugi tried to touch his butt, and then he was like, no! And he shot him with Yami-Yugi's gun, and then it turned out it was his dad. Not trying to touch his butt, but...
No.
Okay.